Hi, I'm Julia Witta with the Shamanic Arts Center, and this is Chi, our main shaman. And this is Encounters of the Shamanic Kind, every Thursday at 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And so
tonight we want to talk about divination. The Shamanistic Center covers many aspects of shamanism. One of our main focuses is the divinatory process through the utilization of the tarot and other decks, some based on archetypal patterning that we're all dealing with, that sort of thing. And you're welcome to receive a reading if you would like. Give us a call. We will do a free layout reading for the past, present, and the future. And divination, I want to say, is a part of the shamanistic process related to the spiritual work of connecting with the higher spirits and bringing their energy into our world of form. Our ideas that flow through us come from them, and the cards are a medium to be able to read what type of influences could be happening to you in a given moment. So we are the shamanistic processes. Of course, we've gone through some of this in terms of what it is related to smudging, which we have been doing for the last few minutes. In fact, smudging on the computer as well, trying to get it going right. And Julia is the computer whiz. I'm computer illiterate. And so we're just talking tonight. We're smudging the room, both of us and you, and purifying your energy field, clearing any patterns that have been bothering you recently, or your friends, anything that you've collected in your own auric field. See all that stuff clearing as we smudge, and we smudge our decks over here in case someone is actually watching and would like a reading. So we purify that.
and tell your friends they can come any Thursday and get a free 3-card reading.
Yeah.
Thursdays at 7 p.m.
Okay, and so to set up sacred space, we do smudging first. Secondly, we honor the spirits of the different directions, the angelic frequencies as well. But one of our primary objectives is to open doorways for these higher spirits to come in and work with us in terms of offering readings to you. So essentially, you'll be getting information from us, but then it'll be information that's channeled through. I've removed my personality and my need to impress anyone, which I kind of lost that a long time ago anyway. And so we'll just do it by the seat of our pants. And Julia and I will be in conversation, talking about different aspects of divination, just sharing ideas. And we'll share that with you. That's basically what we're doing tonight. So I call in the spirits of the East. The helping spirits, the loving spirits, the eagle, the angel Raphael. I send my energy outward to the east, all the way to the end of the universe. And we receive the essence and the power of all things from there, empowering the circle of light that we will establish tonight for this divinatory process. And so I acknowledge the medicine of the sound, the fire, the spirits of the sound, the fiery ones. We ask their presence in this circle of light to assist us with this divinatory process. Coyote, trickster of the mind, the angel Michael, the angel of probation and trial. And so I acknowledge the medicine of the West, the elemental water. We honor the spirits of the West, these water beings, these water creatures, undines, nymphs, the angel Gabriel. We invite you into this magical, sacred, and holy circle of light. And to the north, the element earth, alchemical earth, spiritual earth. I honor the spirits of the north and ask their presence, the helping spirits, the spirits of the salamander, the gnomes. Honor you on this day and invite you into this magical, sacred, and holy circle of life. The angel Oriel. We've captured the essence from all the elements in all the directions, and we project these directions all the way to the end of the universe, receiving the power and force from all these directions as such. Now, I honor the below, the earth itself we live upon, the great mother, the rock people, the roots, the creepy crawlers. We honor you, spirits of the earth, and invite you into this magical, sacred, holy circle of light. And to the above, the heavenly regions of the higher and transcendental planes. I honor the spirits of the winged ones, the angels, the old ancestors, and the Shekinah in Hebrew, or the divine presence of God. So we share that presence through the light we have in our room shining behind my head, connecting it to the infinite light of the universe. And so it is. And I just want to rattle a little bit to bring in the frequency of spiritual energy and acting within this room. Just after this divinatory process.
To show them some of the cards.
We could, yeah, definitely. I wanted to say a couple of things about this deck anyway. This is the major and minor arcana of the tarot. Okay. Now, arcana means direct revelation from God. These cards lay out old imprints of the divine frequency and how it works through us. When you read them, you are plugging into those higher frequencies for a person and helping them to understand the influence of that card.
And
You want to
talk
this
about
probably,
this
yeah.
one.
And Julia will talk to you about the
This deck is the Archetype Deck by Carolyn Meese.
Cabbalistic.
And it shows different archetypes. For example, here's the Queen. The Queen.
I'm gonna get some water.
Okay,
Like some?
yeah, I'd like to have some too.
Yeah.
And each card will show you the light attributes and the shadow attributes. So when we do a reading, I'll probably do the readings that if you choose the archetype card deck. When I do the readings, we'll lay out 3 cards. The first one will be the past. What archetype was most recently active in your life in the past and the present? And the third card will be the future. So then we'll talk about the light attributes of each card and the shadow attributes of each card. And that will give you an idea of where you've been and where you're going. And then the third deck, neither of us is real familiar with these, but it looks like a great deck, and we're going to be working on these, getting ready to be getting familiarized with them. But this is called the Shamans Oracle.
Yeah.
And
Just generally speaking, this deck is about images and related visions that shamans have had before, and they would have visions and put stories on caves, on the walls of caves, and these stories were carried down, and some of the patterns, like a bird or an eagle feather, they were symbols for certain spiritual principles and laws, and all those laws are actually working through each of us all the time. And I'm pretty sure that the symbolic referencing and language related to what those symbols mean to you come in the cards. And that, like the journeying card here is, this is the first card.
hold it up so you can see it.
Has a stick with a hole in the end of it, and it's like for the journeyer, it's the ability to focus their attention with their third eye into this other world, so they can begin to see and reveal and have things revealed to them about what this card means. And so the first card is about journeying, or the journey of the shaman into the other world and being able to see with their inner vision, with their developing the third eye and the pineal gland, so that you're.
I'm going to go get the phone so they can call us.
Yeah. So that the brain sand in the pineal gland begins to crystallize and turn into a stone called the philosopher's stone, the alchemical process of enlightenment. And so the journeying is an ecstasy experience of visual images, which are breathtaking sometimes, but the things that you can look at and come back and interpret and say, oh, what does that mean in my life now? So that's what I get out of these cards.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're watching now and live and you want a reading, call us at 970-200-LOVE. That's 5683. And we'll talk to you a little bit on air and do a reading for you.
Yeah. And okay. And so divination basically means reading the word of the divine. The native people, when they see an eagle, God is saying something, or the Great Spirit is saying something to that person through that eagle. And that's divination. If a leaf falls from a tree and you're driving by and you see it, that's significant in terms of something that the universe is saying to you to help you solve a problem or be clear about certain things in your life or be clear about who you are. And so divination is a process of being able to read the signs and the subtle energy patterns that we might call God sent to us. And so the systems here, they'll have captured, like the shamanistic deck has captured certain patterns where people have encountered, we'll say, high beings, the gods, and they would put these images of animals, of human beings doing certain things, and tell a story of what things were like and their relationship to spirit back when. So, yeah.
Yeah. There was a good scene in that Countryman of the teacher teaching the kids in the village and painting. He painted little pictures and told the stories.
Yeah. That's related to divination. I mean, that's the process of being able to interpret the literature, so to speak, of those glyphs. Yes, that's and some people are born to do that. They have the sort of intuitive hit of what these stories are about and what the images are saying. And in a way, that's the shaman's role, I think. That's what we're here to do, is to be able to interpret the more subtle influences and experiences that most people miss.
Yeah. And things we've been trained to look for too.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, correct.
So I have no calls yet. Who wants a reading? Call me up.
Okay, so and so I'd like to say a little more about the tarot deck. I do the Cabbalistic Turaga, which is Kabbalistically influenced, and there's a whole system of training related to this particular deck, because essentially the tarot, in my opinion, is a breakdown and a layout of the Torah. Now, if a Jewish rabbi is listening, and he may have an argument about that, so call me and we'll talk about it. And so what we have here is an oral tradition all the way back to Abraham that has a system of cards that go actually on the tree of life, which is the Kabbalistic glyph or pattern of livingness, we'll say, that has to do with developing your spiritual frequency and your spiritual energy pattern, and be able to identify what those are and how to develop them right along with your physical development. And so that's the roots of the tarot go way back to the beginning of Jewish mysticism. And the major 22 cards of the tarot are the pictorial expression of the inner workings of the Hebrew alphabet. There's 22 of them in number. There are 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet. Now, this alphabet is probably the most prominent and most important aspect of the whole system, because it is the letters of this particular alphabet is what I call the fifth dimensional alphabet. It will reveal words of power through number sequencing called gematria, and letter combinations that can raise your frequency, that can assist you in understanding higher and more subtle things that are happening. And it's all housed in the powerful network of energy in these Hebrew letters. And they're the first 22 major cards, from the Fool to the World card, are those 22 letters. And those 22 cards are the pathways on the spheres on the tree of life that go from the earthly plane all the way up to heaven. And that is essentially the layout of this Hebrew alphabet. It was the oral tradition of Abraham, and my opinion is that the major cards are a pictorial expression of letters that you actually can't put words to. And so it was called the oral tradition because it was never written down. Actually, it's been written down since, but at that time it was oral and was not supposed to be put down in writing. So we have this deck, and it can give you a layout of some very higher spiritual principles.
Then I want to talk about this deck a little bit.
And show them some of it.
This is the Archetype Deck, and I want to talk a little bit about archetypes. Basically, I studied this when I was studying Carl Jung, and the theory is that we are born with certain patterns. They're part of the collective unconscious, and you're born with these certain patterns.
DNA.
Yeah. For example, mother. Everybody already is born to respond to a mother. Now, they may not have one for whatever reason, but they will, in that case, they will, for example, with geese, it's well known that the first thing they see is mother, and they'll follow them because they're hardwired to do that. We are hardwired to respond to faces.
Also, I want to say about the mother is we also have the divine mother, and it's a link up between all from that higher frequency all the way down to the mother symbols that we're living here, like my blood mother,
Right.
that sort of thing. But I also have a spiritual mother.
So these archetypes that you're born with, when you're born, you have the tendency to project that onto whatever fits most closely. And for most of us, it'll be our real mother. So we'll think of the mother archetype as having our mother's attributes. And our other mothers that we meet during our life will change how we see it individually. But everybody has a tendency to have a mother, tendency to relate to somebody as a magician, the fool, the different attributes. And they have both light and shadow attributes. For example, this mother one, the light attributes are nurturing, patience, unconditional love, joy, and giving birth to life. So if that's what's working in your life at the moment, then you might be joyful about everything you can do to promote life. You might garden, you might take care of babies, you will be joyful about being mothering. And this can apply to men or women. Everybody has all of these. The shadow attributes of the mother are smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. So you could be acting out either the light or the shadow attributes, but that's still the card that's operating at that time. And possibly in the subconscious realm, you're not even consciously aware that that's happening, but it will affect how you react to people. So when we do a reading, we will be looking for, the first card will be what was most recently working in your life. The second card will be what's currently working in your life. And the third card will be what's coming into being. And in all cases, it could be subconscious. You may not be consciously aware, but if you really look at your life, you'll see where that was working. And do you want to talk about this deck at all?
Well,
I don't know. We don't know enough about it
not really. I don't know enough about it except what I just generally kind of shared, because I know that this is related to shamanistic visioning, and which is what I do and I'm very interested in. And then the archetypal patterns that you can experience while you're journeying. I mean, it starts with the journeyer. And so I don't know the structure of it though, like I do the tarot and that.
Right.
But I know that generally speaking, it will connect you to some archetypal patterns that are working in your life, especially if they have shamanistic influences and that sort of thing. So yeah.
And I just want to say that these are little short 3-minute 3-card layouts. You can get a longer session by going to our website and requesting a shamanic session. Then that can be set up to either meet you in person at our offices here in Hotchkiss or by computer or phone, because we're still trying to socially isolate, of course. So, and even, if you're too far away, the phone and the Zoom work really well. So
yeah,
don't hesitate to call us or come on the show next Thursday and get your reading, and tell your friends. And you can get your reading we're going to have a chat room normally, but we're not set up for it right now. But if you want one tonight, call me at 970-200-5683. Sing for us?
Yeah, I thought we
Mm-hmm.
maybe do the song to the 4 directions.
Okay.
Honoring the spirits of the 4 directions. The energy forms there. I'd like to share with you the song of the 4 directions. This is Kate Wolf's song, and I want to say that Kate Wolf had a much better voice than me, but I'll do the best I can. And I honor Kate Wolf. She was a very special woman. When the morning breaks and the sunlight warms my soul, in the east the eagle flies and the red-tailed proudly soars on my way to the place of the spirit one. Grandfather, hear me now, I am on fire. Let the sun dance guide my feet to your desire. Show me visions for my eyes, and words like gold that shimmer in the sun. Hey, 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 shaman's mystery. I'm on my way to die and live again. Grandmother, hear my cry, give me rest. I take my place with the woman of the West. Show me the raven and the bear, the way of herbs and the black obsidian. Hey, 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 hey. I turn toward the south, like the water I will run. Innocence and trust, the moonchild song is sung. I'm on my way to the place of the sacred plants. My emotions and my will at their command. The turtle's voice is heard upon the land, and the wild coyote growls. The rattlesnake will call me to dance. Hey, 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 hey. In the deepest night, the stars watch over me. Oh, woman of the north, my mind seeks clarity. I'm on my way to the place of the northern winds, where the thunder and the lightning carries me. I lay my thoughts to rest as you take me on to sleep. The hawk and the buffalo, my dreams, white crystal magic medicine. Hey, 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 hey.
So I think we should say a few things about our website and let people know this. If you're watching streaming live, you're probably at our website now. And in the future, not tonight, but in the future, there's a little chat box in your bottom right-hand corner. You'll be able to request a reading by writing it in that chat box. But right now we're not set up for that. So what else do I need to tell them? If you want to request a session with Chi, that's on there in the scheduling section of the website.
Or with you.
Or with me.
For the Oracle, no, the
I'm doing a monthly class on archetypal collage. And if you're interested in that, you can email me at julia@travelingshamans.com. And you can email Chi at Chi @travelingshamans.com. And let me think. Oh, you can sign up for our text message service where we remind you of all these types of things we have going on. And we have postcards from shamans that'll let you know by email. So you can sign up for any of those on the website. Anything else? And events. We have events, and those are right at the top. If you're at the website now, it's right at the top on your left-hand side. You'll see events. When you click on there, you'll go to the events. You can sign up for anything that we're offering.
Well, I just want to say that I welcome people to check in on who we are, what the center is about, if they're interested.
Mm-hmm.
And we welcome your participation. And when we do events, sometimes we need help. And, Julia
Would love to have volunteers.
would love to have volunteers. Right.
In fact, we need a volunteer to keep track of who of those people who are wanting readings. So we know what order to do them in. So if you're interested in helping out, call me. 970-200-LOVE. We are sad to report that we've been forced to cancel Traveling Shamans Camp, which was scheduled for August because of the COVID and health department regs and so on. We're putting it off till next year, August 20th through the 22nd, 2021. So start thinking about it now, save your money to drive to Colorado and camp out with us. And we'll do it next year for sure. Well, who knows? Spirit willing, Allah willing.
Now, some people will be able to plug into this if they want to check it out.
See the recording?
Uh-huh.
The recordings are posted live on our patron site, and that's patreon.com/traveling-shamans. But you have to be a patron to see those things. But you can be a patron for only $4 a month. Help support our websites and our phone bills and all the stuff it takes to run a center like this.
Yeah, I just wanted to say for anyone who's watching it to feel free to call in or respond to some of the things we'll talk about and can get the reading.
Yeah.
So.
And if you're interested in being a vendor at Traveling Shamans Camp, right now we're offering a deal where if you put a deposit on a booth for next year's camp, we'll put you on our directory for the entire year of 2020 and the entire year of 2021. And the deposit is refundable. So check that out too.
Okay.
Anything else? I guess that's kind of it for tonight. I don't think enough people.
Well, I know there's a lot of important things we should say, but I don't know what they are.
I can't remember what they are, but tell your friends, tell anybody who might need a reading to come next Thursday, 7 p.m.
Yeah, and also, this is not a serious thing. We're having fun here. And so, yeah, participate in the fun if you want to.
Yeah, we'd like that.
Yeah.
So we don't have to party all by ourselves.
Really?
Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next Thursday, 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time.